Hello, fellow CAT 230 classmates. This is Megan Waite, and this is my student presentation. CSS, Cascading Style Sheets, is used to style HTML elements. In other words, CSS rules determine how HTML is displayed on the screen of a computer or other device. CSS controls color, layout, and fonts. My presentation is on CSS values and units. But first, let's do a quick review of the anatomy of a CSS rule set to better understand where values and units fit in. Here is an example of a CSS rule set. The selector indicates the HTML element we want to style. In this case, the rule set is going to style a paragraph, P. In the rule set, the P is called the selector because it is selecting the HTML element it is going to style. The selector is followed by a set of opening and closing curly brackets. All HTML elements have characteristics. We call these characteristics properties. In this case, the property of the paragraph we want to style is the color. The property is set inside the curly brackets. The property is then followed by a colon. The value of the color in the rule set is green. There is another word for value, and that's attribute. CSS uses both terms. The value or attribute follows a space after the colon inside the same curly brackets, and it is followed by a semicolon. Think of it this way. The property of the rule set is like a noun, a thing. The value or attribute of a rule set is like an adjective which describes that noun. Unlike the English language, the adjective follows the noun. It does not precede it. There are many different CSS values. The W3C has a list online, but some of the most commonly used value groups include background, border, font, list, margin, and text. There are more online at w3.org. Sometimes values, or attributes, have a numeric value to express a length. When this is the case, they are referred to as units. It is important to note that there are two basic types of units: absolute and relative. Absolute lengths are suggested for use in print, while relative lengths are suggested for use on screen. Let's take another look at a CSS rule set. Again, we are styling a paragraph. In addition to setting the color to green, we are designing the font size, designating the font size at 48 pixels. Because 48 has a numerical value or attribute, a length, in this case, it is called a unit. Hey, do you want to see it in action? All right, let's get set up here. This is an unstyled HTML page. We are going to style this, or at least a portion of it. We're going to use the same rule set that we used in our PowerPoint presentation. So we're going to design a paragraph. We're going to do the color, set it to green. And the font size, we'll make it 16. No, we're going to make it bigger than that. We're going to make it 48 pixels. Okay, I'm going to save it and watch the screen on the left as I refresh. Voila, you can see that the paragraph color and font size has changed. Okay. Now, since using absolute lengths is not recommended, for screen use, we're going to use a relative length instead. If you remember from the PowerPoint presentation, 1em is equal to the size of the font to which it is applied. If there is no font size defined, an em is the same as the browser's default font, which is about 16 pixels. So in this case, we're going to change this to 4em, which is 4 times 16 pixels, so about 64 pixels. We'll save it. And we're going to change the color too so you can really tell. Save, And as I refresh the screen on the left, boom, it's bigger and the color has changed again. And there you have it. You have been instructed in the basics of CSS values and units. I hope you learned as much from this presentation as I did. If you have any questions, please reply to my post in the developer forum. Thank you.